going on, guys? So this is going to be our take 2 of prepping your tires with Gremlin Goo. So just real quick, we just had a snafu with some audio issues and some of the upload stuff. Apparently some of the video didn't go through because of how long it was. I don't know, contacted YouTube, and then we had some other issues with the music content. So no more music. So anyways, so we're going to do a fresh one. I'm going to try to keep this one under a half hour, if not shorter, so we don't have any issues. I've got some new camera software and a microphone, this little dandy thing hanging on my neck because some guys are saying they couldn't really hear. So this seems to be working really, really well. So hopefully I don't have to do another take of this. It does kind of get exhausting. But whatever it takes to get you guys in the right path to get this stuff on your tires. So short and sweet. If you're just seeing this video for the first time, perfect. So I'm going to show you, like we did last time, this is a Proline reaction tire that has been prepped prior, and this is what it looks like after a pass. Okay, so I'm going to show you later here how to re-prep a tire after you've made a pass. But first I'm going to show you the process of prepping that tire to get you to this point. Okay, so this is what a tire would look like after it's been prepped with warmers. See, it's got a nice shine to it. It gets shiny once it's been warmed, but before you put warmers on it, it usually kind of has a kind of a satin look to it. I guess you could kind of say this is satin, but it's a little more glossy in my opinion. Camera might be kind of messing with the light a little bit, but that's what it will look like once it's prepped. To give you guys kind of an example, this is where we're at right now. So it's almost like a magnet. I said this in the last video, the one we had to remove. Just kind of gave you guys an idea. I mean, this is a tire that's been cleaned, but is basically conditioned with the Gremlin Goo. And this is a tire that is ready to be, actually I lied, this one's already been warmed because you can see it from the belts. So this tire has already had warmers on it. But this gives you an idea from a conditioned tire to a tire that is, you know, already prepped and ready to go. You could technically take this tire, because this was actually from our video from yesterday. You could technically take this tire and put warmers, maybe put another coat on it, put your warmers on it and go, because it hasn't touched the surface yet. So you don't want to go and try to make a second pass on a tire that, like this, not going to do you much good. I see a lot of guys that will go and they will prep their tire and then they will turn around and they'll go and they'll try to make a second pass. Sometimes you get lucky making a second pass, but it's not always the case. So I'm going to show you guys the beginning stages from a new tire, fresh tire, all the way up to getting ready to clean it to make another pass. Okay? All right. So we're going to start with, so here's 2 tires that are prepped. Look at that. Pretty wild. Okay. So let's start with this tire. So this tire has been cleaned, and I'll show you the process of cleaning the tire with the other one. So this tire has been cleaned from a pass, and we're going to get ready to re-prep it. Keep in mind, this is going to be pretty much the exact same process you would go through as if you had a brand new pair of tires, you just glued them up on the rim. So let's just pretend this tire is brand new. Okay, I don't have any new ones mounted up. Break-in process is not necessarily needed. Some guys will do it. I will do it. Just depends. AKA makes a nice tool that you can put in there. You can buy it, goes to the end of your drill. You can bolt it to the tire, rub it down on some asphalt. Some guys use sandpaper, different things, just to kind of get that glaze off the tire. I don't really do that very often. A lot of times I will condition it with beetle juice, let that kind of penetrate the tire. I might do it to a couple sets and then bag them. Sometimes I won't even do that. I'll just glue them on, clean them with Simple Green, glue them on, and then go basically prep my tire, clean it with Simple Green, prep my tire, and then a lot of times what I will do is I'll apply a second coat as well. So you can do 2, or you can do 3, you can do 4. I think it's a little excessive. I think 2 coats is plenty. So let's get started on that process and show you what we need to do. So we're going to pretend like this tire is a brand new tire. We're going to go ahead and get this on there. Normally I wouldn't. I think it's easier to show you guys with it actually on the car so you can kind of get an idea how to hold it. Some guys will do their version of it and they'll hold the tire and show you. I mean, they both combinations work. I think this presentation part of it's a little better. Okay, so we've cleaned this tire. It's ready for new prep. Probably should have grabbed that. So this is Gremlin Goo. This is, typically this is what they will start to look at. You got some, it's pretty clear. They will have a tendency to start turning different color. They'll get to the point where it's black. Beetlejuice is the same way. Starts out as a real yellow gold color, almost looks like, apple juice, and it will turn black. It's still going to work the same way. So do shake the bottle a little bit. Don't shake it too much. You'll get it all up in the bottom of the cap. It'll drip everywhere, but do shake it just a little bit. So my process is holding the tire and then slowly rotating it over the tire until you get it over that whole contact patch, okay? Now, what you'll want to do is allow that to dry. You can see that it's shiny, but what it will do is when it dries, it's going to have a kind of a satin look to it. Normally, if you're at the track and you've got kind of a windy day, that will help dry it pretty quick. But it doesn't necessarily dry to the point where it's dry. It's going to be tacky. And usually, I'll do both tires, let them set for about maybe a couple minutes. You can just kind of watch the tire and watch the tire as it starts to just kind of just suck in the juice and get it into the tire. You can see it starting to do that already. I know the camera probably doesn't really do much justice. You can see it when it does it. It's pretty wild. So there's one particular spot where it will kind of flatten out and it'll still have kind of a little bit of a shine to it. So once it does that, I will come back and I will do a second coat on both tires. So I'm moving a little head a little quicker than I normally would, just because I don't want to drag this out for you guys. So apply your second coat, and again, this tire has actually absorbed the prep a lot quicker than I thought it would, so the camera is not really showing where it's dry. All right, so 2 coats, both sides, perfect. So now what you'll do is you'll wait, about 5-10 minutes for that to dry. And then once it dries and it just barely looks like it's wet, you're then going to apply your warmer, which I didn't grab. So let me go grab that as well. So on these warmers, I got to hand it to, while we let this dry, I've got to hand it to Brian Elkins. And if you guys know who Brian Elkins is, he has made tire warmers. And this is his version 2, V2 I like to call it. These are very good warmers. The first ones work just as good, but this new material is a lot better. It's a little more durable. It does come with a XT90 plug for a 3S battery. 3S battery only, guys, so they can get hot. You will want to mark them so you know what side you're actually using when you're applying it to the tire, because if you don't, then what's going to happen is both sides are going to start getting sticky and then it's just going to be a mess because it's going to stick to everything. So we just use a Sharpie, put an X on there so you can kind of see, so you know you're putting it in the same spot. So these are very nice. So see if I can show you this tire again. So you've got to see it looks like it's wet, but it's actually absorbed into the tire, so it doesn't have that drip wet, and it's definitely tacky. I mean, you can see it webbing there. So what you do then is now you've got both tires on the car, and you apply your warmers. Now on the warmers, I see some guys leave them on there way too long. They're nuking the tire. You don't need to put that much heat into it. In fact, let me grab a battery. And remember guys, it's a 3S battery for this deal. I have not seen anybody try to use a 2S battery as of yet. Probably not a good idea. Where did the battery case go? Give me 1 second, guys. All right. Okay. 3S battery, XT90 plug. Plug in your battery. So again, 5, maybe 10 minutes. Just depends. Your surface has a lot to do with it too. I mean, our climate's different here, so we don't really need to leave the battery warmers quite on as long. I mean, depending on where you're at, your roads might be a little bit cooler. But again, sending them to the moon's not necessary. A good 3 to 5 minutes usually is pretty good. I mean, this is already getting warm and it's only been on there for, not even a minute. You'll want to do that with both tires. Again, just remember, so a clean tire, they got to be a clean tire when you prep it. If it's a brand new tire, clean it with some Simple Green if you choose. Make sure there's no dust or anything on the tire. Get it mounted up securely. Get it on there. Put your first roll of prep on it. Let it dry. Put your second roll if you choose. Apply warmers. It should be pretty good. See, already that's just within a couple minutes, and that's pretty good. So I'm not going to sit here and wait that long. I will show you. Another thing too, guys, on these tire warmers, make sure that you're grabbing them from here. Don't grab them from here. Brian Elkins will thank you for that. They'll last a lot longer if you're grabbing them actually by the Velcro. And when you pull them off, so a lot of guys will pull from here, and you're taking the life away of how long that warmer is going to last. So let's see if this is going to, there you go, some good. So this is just because it's only been on there for a few minutes. You can kind of see a little bit of that webbing. Keep in mind, the longer you do this, the longer you put prep on that tire, the more that prep is going to get into that tire, the more it's going to condition that tire, and you'll need less prep on it. And that tire is just, over time, that tire is going to get ridiculously sticky. We have found that using the tire preps, it seems to preserve the tire a little bit longer because you're not necessarily burning the rubber up off the tire. You're actually using the prep instead of the tire itself. The tire is just there for the ride to get the car down the track. At least that's how we feel. The different compounds that we've tried, some new stuff that we're trying, we see how it works. It's pretty neat at what it's doing. We've got tires that look like they're brand new, and they've gone through all kinds of different testing on different surfaces. So speaking of burnouts and things like that, so one of the other things that I see happen a lot is guys do some crazy high RPM burnouts. It's not necessary, at least not for our products. If any of you guys have been to some of the races and you see guys up there doing burnouts and you start hearing a weird noise or a chirping or something like that, that's what you want. It's almost like a barking sound. And the way to achieve that is obviously prepping the tire correctly. And then let's say that you've prepped your tire like we have, you're ready to go make your run. So as you're walking up to your burnout area, you want to make sure that when you walk up to that burnout area, don't set the car down. Don't set it down, because once you do that, guys will set it down, they'll roll it, they'll pick up the contents that are on the track or in the burnout box area. It's what I call a sugar cookie. You're just putting that dirt and everything on the tire, and I see guys do that. They put it down, they roll it in there, they do their burnout, they pick it up, they go to the starting line, they roll it in there again, and you've just compiled a bunch of just small rocks and junk on there, and then they make a hit and the car does a donut, and then they say that, oh, it didn't work for me. It wasn't right, guys, because you just didn't have the right steps to get you where you need to be, which is totally fine. We're all trying to figure it out, right? So here's my advice to you. When you do your burnout, go to your burnout box, all you need to do is set the car down. If you got to sit it down to switch your hands around, that's fine. Do that. Once you do that, when you do your burnout, it's a very slow RPM. You don't got to send it to the moon. Very slow RPM. back and forth. Some guys go left and right. I feel forward and back is the best, but whatever works best for you. As you're doing that burnout low RPM, if the car is already pulling and trying to come out of your hand, you're good. If you haven't got to the bark, that's fine. The bark, though, is key to tell you, hey, that tire's saying I'm ready. It's got enough heat in it. It's got enough sauce on it. It's ready. Once you do that and you put that in there and you hear kind of a chirping or a bark, stop right then. Even if you go up there and you set it down and it right there, done, okay? Pick it straight up, walk over to your staging lane, and get ready to do your thing. Now, some advice I can give, and this is what I do, doesn't mean it's perfect, but it works for me. When you walk up to the starting line, don't put the car down, leave the tires up in the air. Walk up to your starting line, whatever lane you're in, and look up at that tree if it has a staging setup, okay? Even if it's just a regular flashlight start. It works better if it's, you know, obviously staging because you know you're right in the right pocket, but same thing. If you're a flashlight start, you roll right in there, you get it, set it down. Okay, if you're going in there to do a tree start, you know, like a pro tree or a sportsman tree, leave the front of the car up, roll the car in, look at the lights. When you see the staging lights flash, go past it, and then bring it back till you see that light come on, and then set the car down. Make sure you're straight where you want the car to go, set it down, leave it, walk away from it. Do your stance, do whatever you got to do, and win that round, okay? So let's say that you've made your pass. We're going to move forward here quickly. So you've made your pass, car went solid. Now you're going to the next round, all right? So now what we're going to do is show you the process of this tire now that you've made a pass, okay? So this is one of Hannah's tires from her no prep car. Go figure, no prep car, her outlaw car. So we're going to show you how to clean this tire. Same combination that just happened right here, power line reaction tire. So let me show you how to do this one. Now, this is where brake cleaner is going to be your friend. Some guys are already using it. Some guys are using different types of stuff. We have found that non-chlorinated brake cleaner works the best. All right. You can get that at any of your local hobby shop, any of your auto parts stores, but make sure it's non-chlorinated. So, and what you'll need is get yourself some microfiber cloth. You can get them on Amazon. I mean, I think we buy a pack of 20 for like 15 bucks. They don't have to be anything crazy. So this is a particular towel that I use on the same tires. So you can kind of see what it does there. And it hand washes. You need to hand wash it, and everything will come out of it from those parts. It'll stain it. So this works perfect. So the reason I like to use the same towel for the same tires because I feel that whatever's been used on that tire is the same thing that's transferring to the rag. They kind of started together, so we kind of try to finish together. It might be just something weird, maybe not the case, but to me it just seems to have been good luck for me to use the same tire, all right? So what you want to do is after you've made your run, they're going to be sugar cookied a little bit, you know, again, and find an area, do a light burnout to get those rocks and everything off that tire so you get it down to kind of this smooth surface. So you don't want to bring all those rocks back to your pit. You know, your car's going to have rocks. Dump the car over, get the rocks out. If you've got a blower, blow it out. Keep the car clean, right? Keep stuff from getting in the spur gear, stuff from getting in the motor, servo, that kind of thing. So we're going to go this way. All right, so you're going to take your brake clean, find your area on your rag. You don't need a whole lot. Just a little circle there. You can kind of see that it's wet. All you're going to do is rub this on the tire, kind of a back and forth, and spin the tire at the same time. And you guys remember what that tire looked like, right? Now sometimes you might have to go over it once or twice. I've found that twice usually does pretty good. What's really cool about this is, I'm going to show you here. After it's been cleaned, you can see it's kind of shiny. What happens here is next, the brake clean reactivates the prep. As crazy as that sounds. See if it'll do it. Yeah, you can see this probably doesn't do much justice, but if you could actually feel this tire, it is sticky. I'm pretty sure that'll show you right there how sticky that is. And of course, this has got prep on it, but you can see that it's pulling the tire. It's pulling the tire up because that brake clean reactivated in that tire yet again. Now, this tire is clean, right? So you've got all your dirt from your past. Now what you're going to do is the same process that you just did. You're going to come in, you're going to prep your tire. You're going to do 1, 2 if you like. You're going to put your warmer back on it, and you're going to go back and make another pass. Okay, so remember to keep your 3S batteries charged. I've seen guys do that before where they forget to charge their battery. I've noticed that usually a typical 3S battery will usually get you 3 to 4 warm-ups, depending on how long you leave it on there, before you have to recharge it. Let's see. Okay, I don't have the other tire here, but you will see, I'll show you now, I was kind of killing a moment there to kind of let you see how it dulls a tire back down. Okay, so now I've seen guys go and not re-prep the tire and just clean it with brake clean and then go out and try to make another run. Sometimes it'll work. It just depends on how much of that has transferred to the surface. And what I mean by that, and some guys will say, oh, there you go, it's transferred to the surface and now it's prepped racing. It's going to happen. It's going to happen no matter what. It's just going to lengthen that amount of time that prep is going to the surface, even though we're not doing burnouts on the starting line. That's something that we have decided to demonstrate on all of our races, is that we do not do any more burnouts on the starting line. We have a designated area to do a burnout. That started from Vegas. I think it was a really good idea from Vegas, so we adopted that idea, and that's what we've been doing. I think it gives the guys more of a challenge to get their chassis to work, rather than trying to use tire prep as a handicap, and we see that a lot. You got to get your chassis to work right, guys, and that's the thing. We've heard it where guys say, all that product doesn't work. Well, how did you do it? What did you do? And they give us a rundown on what they did and what they didn't do, and we usually can figure out the problem. There are a ton of guys out there that are using this product, and they're not having any issues. They're asking questions. They've come up with some pretty good ideas, to help the growth of Gremlin Goo and Beetlejuice, which is great. We love the feedback. But at the same time, there's some guys out there that are hating on it too, because they're with another tire company, another prep company, and they run their prep, which is perfectly fine. There's plenty of fish in the sea. We're not out there to be number one. We're out there as a whole to help everybody out, help everybody go fast. But again, like I was saying, you got to have the chassis set up right, balance, weight, all of that. You can't just put this stuff on and then expect to go fast right off the bat if the car isn't set up right. Again, the preps will pretty much work with just about any tire. It does work with foam as well. We do have some other products that we're going to launch here really, really soon that are good for foam. I run an XO1 with a BSR foam tire with this new product, and it is crazy with that new product. Even though I know there's a bunch of different foam products out there, but this one's really good. So again, it'll work with just about any tire. It works with the Reaction. It works with the DE, the Voodoo tire. It works with all of those. We've tried them with every single one of them, and it works. As long as you follow these steps, guys, there will be more videos that we will do in the long run. Probably going to try to do one at least once a week, if not sooner. Maybe some changes, something that we found different. I really hope that this video does help you guys out. Another thing too is, don't put your tires away with prep on them. I would recommend cleaning the prep off. We haven't had any issues with the prep staying on the tire for too long. I just don't know what it would do to the tire. So if you end up, not making a run, you end up breaking something like that, and the stuff's on the tire, get it off there with a brake clean it off. Simple Green is really good for your hands. So if you do get it on there with a clean microfiber, that's the thing too. Have 2 separate cloths. Have one for your hands, one for the tires. Spray your fingers with it. Use the clean one to get it off your hands, and that really does work, especially if you spill it. If you use a Simple Green really quick with a microfiber, it will clean it up really fast. So some guys have forgot to do it, and once it gets to that heat, it starts getting to the air, it starts really getting sticky. I know I rushed through this video, guys, compared to the last two. I'm trying to keep it down so it doesn't go to a part 1, part 2 automatically. It's all in one video for you guys. Again, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to email us at gremlingoo@hotmail.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our Gremlin Goo YouTube page. If you're on it right now and you haven't done that, please do that as well. Also check out Beetlejuice Stick It Facebook page, the Gremlin Goo Facebook page. Message us directly through there if you have any questions, if you'd like to buy product, anything like that. Maybe you have some suggestions as far as some videos, something that you found out that worked really good or didn't work, anything like that. If you're going to message just to be a jerk, don't bother, man. Don't bother. Just that's not what this is about. You know, this is about helping you guys out, having some fun with this, and everybody evolving. So again, I know this is short and sweet, but please check out our pages. Please check out the YouTube page. This is going to be shared on some multiple platforms. Again, if you're just seeing this video, again, thank you for checking it out. If you guys saw the other videos, those videos have been taken down from YouTube. So this will be the one that will be up there. No music in the background. You guys can actually hear me. Hopefully this mic worked this entire time. We were going to find out. So again, guys, thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next one.